really struggled with, knowing how to organize this course. Typically, when I teach the grad seminar in material culture, I do it entirely hands-on. So I'll take students around the city to look at things and make things and meet people who spend their whole lives organizing and managing all the various objects that populate our museums. How, though, I wondered, could I achieve anything like that online? So I decided in the end that I just couldn't, and that I'd really need an entirely different organizing principle for this course. And it occurred to me that one way to do that would be to turn inward, to create those off-campus spaces that I've always relied on in this course. So, in other words, our off-campus spaces, in this case, would have to be my home. Looking inward to teach a history course about objects and materiality may seem counterintuitive, but there are some ways in that it really works well. For starters, I'm a consummate tinkerer, and I always have been. Making things, fixing things, taking things apart, putting them back together. All of it has, for me, always been a kind of exercise in self-care. It's by working through small technical problems that I'm able to calm my mind and to wrap it around the big ideas and questions that run through a lot of my research. That's another way in which looking inward has been useful for organizing this course. You'll see that our weekly modules align with 12 lessons for historians who are interested in material culture. These lessons are the very lessons that have inspired me over a quarter century of studying historical objects. They're obviously not the only thing you need to know about material culture, but they'll get you started toward creating your own methods for doing object study. And across all of these lessons, you'll discover a central tension that itself has been a defining feature of material culture studies for as long as I've been doing this work. That tension, simply put, lies within the difference between thinking about things and thinking with things. Now, we're all accustomed to thinking about things. If you've ever visited a museum, for instance, you've been quietly encouraged by its curators to consider what various objects look like and how they're made and perhaps even what their value is. Thinking about things is what most of us probably think about when we think about material culture studies. Now, thinking with things describes a whole different realm of experience. Thinking with things is what we do when the line between ourselves and our things becomes unclear. I'm a different person, for instance, when I use a screwdriver, because by doing so, I become aware, even if just subconsciously, of myself as someone with the ability to turn screws. I instantly perceive torque. I feel, without fully knowing it, the strength of the material which that screw is made of. And at the same time, the potential weakness of the wood I twist it into if I twist too hard. Mingling myself with the object raises within me a new sense of potential and really opens my senses to new kinds of knowledge. I and the screwdriver are different kinds of things when we come together. Think about that a bit, and soon you'll realize that we all always think with things all the time, even if we're not aware of it. Everyone always has, presumably. So, our question then is really this: how might an awareness of how people think with things impact the ways that we understand the past? That's the big question that this course and the 12 lessons are all intended to help you get a handle on. So we're off. I'm looking forward to seeing you back here next time for Lesson 1, where we'll pick this up and see if we can begin to make sense of that question.